Hello and welcome to Reading with Miss Sudi. The book I have for you today is a very old book written by Margaret Wise Brown, and it's illustrated by David Diaz. It's titled The Little Scarecrow Boy. Once upon a time, in a cornfield, there lived a scarecrow and his scarecrow wife and their little scarecrow boy. So begins Margaret Wise Brown's long lost treasure about a little scarecrow boy and the lessons he learned from his scarecrow father every day of the day, until the time he decided to test his knowledge on himself. Let's read and find out what happens next. So let's get started. The Little Scarecrow Boy, written by Margaret Wise Brown, pictures by David Diaz. Once upon a time, in a cornfield, there lived a scarecrow and his scarecrow wife and their little scarecrow boy. Every day of the world, Old Man Scarecrow went into the cornfield to make faces at the crows. And every day of the world, his little scarecrow boy wanted to come too. And every day of the world, Old Man Scarecrow said, "No, no, little boy, you can't go. You're not fierce enough to scare a crow. Wait till you grow." So every day, the little scarecrow boy stayed at home all day and just grew. Every day, out in the cornfield, Old Man Scarecrow waved his arms and made terrible faces. He made such terrible faces that the crows nearly lost their feathers at the sight of him there, and they flew far, far away. Every evening, when the sun went down, Old Man Scarecrow came rattling home, and all evening he sat in his scarecrow house, teaching his little scarecrow boy how to make fierce faces. Old Lady Scarecrow whistled through her straw teeth at the looks of them there. But early in the morning, when the sun came up, it was the same old, "No, no, little boy, you can't go. You're not fierce enough to scare a crow. Wait till you grow." So the little scarecrow boy stayed at home all day and just grew. Then one day, after the little boy had learned all 6 of his father's terrible faces so that he could make them one after the other, he decided to run away. Early the next morning, he would go out into the cornfield and he would frighten a crow. So, before the sun was up, or Old Man Scarecrow was up, or Old Lady Scarecrow was up, the little scarecrow boy slipped out of bed, dressed quietly on tiptoe, and went quietly out of the house, over to the cornfield, up on his father's post in his father's place. It was a fine, shining morning with the sun gleaming green down the corn blades. Crows circled in the air far away over the trees. The little scarecrow boy waved his arms through the air. He had never felt fiercer in all his life. And then came flying a big black crow. "Oh, oh, oh!" The little scarecrow made his first fierce face, and still came flying the big black crow. "Oh, oh, oh!" The little scarecrow boy made his second fierce face, and still came flying the big black crow. His third face. "Oh, oh, oh! Time to go," So the little scarecrow boy ran and he ran down the cornrows. The black flapping wings made a noise now, and looking back he could see the blue sky through the ragged feathers of the nearest crow. He ran and he ran. Then he stopped, his fourth face, and still came flying the big black crow. So he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran. And the crow flew and he flew and he flew and he flew. And the little scarecrow boy ran. And then he made his fifth and next to fiercest face of all. And still came flying the big black crow, and little boy had only one face left now and hardly any breath. Even so, he stopped, and with his arms stretched wide above his head and his fingers dropping on his hands, he gave the big crow the sixth face. And wah! The old crow flew backwards and through the air, feathers flying everywhere until there wasn't even the shadow of a crow on the land. A scarecrow at last! The little scarecrow boy knew that he was as fierce a scarecrow as there was in all the cornfields in all the world. And then he saw a shadow in front of him, and he looked up, and there behind him was Old Man Scarecrow, his father. And his father was proud of his little boy, who had made all six faces at the crows. And he picked up his little scarecrow boy in his scarecrow arms and then went home to breakfast. And when the little scarecrow grew up, he was the fiercest scarecrow in all the field, in all the world. And that's the end. This cute little fiction is an enduring portrait of family relationships, tender and fun. It celebrates the time-honored tradition of passing knowledge from one generation to the next, and the exuberance that comes with reaching one's true potential. Hope this read entertained you and struck a chord in your heart. See you next week with another lovely fall read. Thanks for spending some time with me. So, on that note, Miss Sidi checking out.